Villains. I love villains. In fact, villains are what makes stories so compelling for me. Without a good villain for the hero to overcome, the hero just kind of exists. Disrupting the status quo and giving our heroes a reason to take action is one of the major roles of any villain. Luckily, there have been so many excellent villains throughout media. We've been given villains of all different shades. The force of nature, those who pull the strings behind the scenes, morally corrupt villains who operate in the gray area, pure evil villains who are often irredeemable murderous beings, even nihilistic Lovecraftian entities, which are honestly more of a metaphorical than a physical baddie for the heroes to beat up on. Anyway, they are the catalysts that drive the story forward and make our heroes' journeys meaningful. Without a formidable antagonist, the story just lacks tension, growth, and emotional impact. But my absolute favorite, which are scattered throughout these archetypes, are the charismatic villains. And those, my friends, are the ones I want to talk about today. But first, let's talk about why villains are so important and what makes them memorable or even exceptional. The best villains are the ones that heavily interact with the heroes in one form or another. They have some kind of emotional pull on our hero, often helping to bring out the best qualities of the heroes. Without them, our hero's strict moral code or past personal trauma just seems more unimportant. A great antagonist allows us to really explore what makes our heroes, well, heroic. Villains create a juxtaposition not only for their shiny save-the-day counterparts, but allows the audience to witness growth and development of the heroes by many times having them confront their dark counterparts. These obstacles for our main character often possess qualities or traits that are distorted versions of the hero, creating a physical embodiment for our heroes to not only test their power, but their values. Great villains invest us in the story and the story of the media we are consuming. It gives us something to be passionate about, and when a villain can check all these boxes, many times they can become iconic and beloved characters in their own right, leaving a lasting impression on us and the media landscape in general. What's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure without Dio? What gives Vegeta the deep-seated crux of his pain and the basis for his complete good guy turnaround if not for Frieza? How else do we explore Superman being a god amongst men if Lex isn't trying to constantly test Clark's strong moral fiber? And Barry Allen can't even get over and move on from the death of his mother if not for the Reverse Flash. Not only do villains challenge our heroes, but they challenge us, the audience, invoking a wide range of emotions within ourselves: fear, hatred, curiosity, and even empathy. Great villains challenge our own moral compasses and allow us to examine our own personal values. Kamoshida from Persona 5 is one of the first real bad guys we experience in the game, and for me, he is by far the most memorable one. Not only is he absolutely atrocious in his actions, but when we finally get to the point to make him pay and confess his crimes, you're more ready to punish him than find anything salvageable about him. I remember having to make the choice on how he receives his punishment for the absolute crimes this man committed, and it gave me pause. I wanted to make this sicko pay. I didn't just want him to admit his crimes, I actually had feelings that I wanted to make him suffer. Wow, that's really powerful that media can make you stop and think and question the decisions you get to make. Great villains like this can make us question and explore the very human potential for darkness, serving as a cautionary tale or even mirrors of self-discovery. As I alluded to earlier, out of all the villains, by far the most entertaining are the ones just drenched in charisma. No matter how bad their deeds are, we are magnetized to them. The story gets undeniably more interesting when we see them on screen or in panel. American Psycho is a movie starring an irredeemable monster murderer, but Patrick Bateman is just so dang entertaining. You almost root for him. It's almost cathartic to see just how far he's willing to go, and we, as viewers, overlook his vile deeds because he's such a likable character in so many ways. 一体何人の命をその傷のために吸い取った？お前は今まで食ったパンの枚数を覚えているのか？ Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is my personal favorite villain in all of media. He's quotable, entertaining, and he's just so damn awesome. Particularly in Part 3, he is arguably the best part in the entire series. He doesn't even take active action against the Stardust Crusaders until the final arc of Part 3. Even after Part 3, when Dio's evil seeps into Part 6, it is electrifying to see him back on the screen. Dio is so important that he alone grounds the entire series from part 1 all the way to part 6 in this generational struggle between himself and the joestar bloodline. To take it even further, I personally was way too hyped to see the iteration of Dio resurface in Steel Ball Run. Readers just can't get enough of the big bad yellow-clad man.
That's how you know I'm Luthor. When I augmented your powers, I also made sure I can override your abilities. Would anyone else care to try me?
Lex Luthor is another excellent charismatic entity that, even though he constantly keeps my favorite hero Superman on his toes, there are just so many times when even when we know he's up to something, we just can't help but root for him when him and the hero's goals align. In All-Star Superman, Lex gives us a masterclass on an egotistical maniac and what he can do. In the New 52 Justice League, even though Superman in my opinion is depicted horribly, Lex Luthor is electrifying, especially when he leads the charge during the Trinity War arc. Even though he's still out here straight murdering people and barely acting like a hero at all, I was still on the edge of my seat seeing what his next moves would be.
Hello, monkeys!
Frieza is pure evil, openly racist, a complete genocidal maniac, but with the incredible voice acting by Chris Ayres, his presence is undeniable. Whether he's killing Namekians, trading blows with Goku, or torturing fighters during the Tournament of Power, I am fully engaged when he is on screen, and I know fully how much of an absolute menace Frieza is. Most recently, when Frieza made his return at the end of the Granola arc, Frieza stole the entire show while still confirming that he is an absolute powerhouse by downing both Goku and Vegeta at the same time, seemingly doing this while bragging about his own power, taunting the Saiyans and us, the readers, leaving us wanting more and excited about the eventual confrontation we'll get to see between Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. And
remember when you were making out with your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Barry.
finally, we land on the pettiest villain in the multiverse. This man is so goddamn entertaining, even though he exists only to make Barry Allen's life a living hell. The Reverse Flash is a plague. We all know the "it was me, Barry" memes, but man, it's just so awesome. He's so entertaining because of his complete pettiness and absolute disdain he holds for Barry. This singular character trait propels the Reverse Flash as not only the most notable Flash villain, but easily as the most entertaining. Magnetic personalities of many charismatic villains leave a lasting impression and often become the most memorable characters in the story. We often find ourselves captivated by their wit, their confidence, and their enigmatic presence. They challenge our preconceived notions and make us question our own desires and motivations. Charismatic villains can even inspire admiration despite their wickedness, making them complex and unforgettable characters. On top of that, they're just as entertaining as all get out and really cool.